Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here with your morning market outlook. Now, today is Thanksgiving Eve, and of course, a lot of people are going to be taking the day off or traveling or leaving work early today. And so it should be pretty quiet in the U.S. market. So far, stock index futures are trading slightly below fair value. Dow futures currently down 40 points. NASDAQ futures are leading the market lower. There's a couple of big cap tech stocks that are down in the pre-market, pulling the NASDAQ lower. At the same time, commodities are trading higher. Both crude oil and gold are up, while Bitcoin is also trading higher on Wednesday morning. Now, we do have a whole bunch of U.S. economic numbers coming out this morning before the market opens. So how things look now and how things look at 9:30 could be totally different. We'll just have to wait and see. Hey, I want to thank everybody who's taken advantage for our Black Friday sale. So far, it's going very well. Interesting to see who's signing up from around the world. If you want to save 30% on a new subscription, just go to our sales page. If you are a current member and want to upgrade from monthly to yearly or yearly to 5-year, just send us an email. We'll send you the links and all the instructions. But again, thank you very much for everybody who has participated so far. Now, in the pre-market, we've got both Dell and HP selling down in the pre-market, and it looks like both of those could end the day on a sell signal, and that is in response to weaker earnings. Now, Bitcoin is still dealing with 100,000. We pulled back in the channel yesterday, so the futures contract, the major ETFs, they're all still on buy signals, no change in trend at all. And we are trading up in the pre-market on Wednesday morning. Of course, the other side of Bitcoin is the inverse ETFs. They're available to us if Bitcoin wants to keep going lower from here. Looking at the stocks, Coinbase is in the channel right now looking for a close on Wednesday below 285.99 to give us a sell signal. Looking at Mara's still holding up fairly well, tagged 28.13 the other day. So you had a chance to lock in some profits up there. Then looking at MicroStrategy, we're trading up in the pre-market this morning. We generated a sell signal last night. You may not want to take that this morning if we're trading up $30 or $40. Just keep an eye on that. If we're going to open unchanged or lower, then I would take the sell signal, but that's not what's happening right now. We ran up, hit 500, drove through it, and then quickly reversed. That was a big reversal day, and now we're looking down. It looks like lots of support down the 250 level if we continue lower from here. Then looking at the small cap Bitcoin related stocks, we got Bitforms on a sell signal. We've got Galaxy on a sell signal. We've got Hive on a sell signal. And then Hut 8 traded on the TSX looking for a close on Wednesday below $31.85. Well, $600 is still a big round number. And yesterday, the SPY was able to close above it at $600.65. Now, the index itself also closed above 6,000. So what's important to note here is we're still stuck to that level. We haven't broken away from it. We traded below those levels yesterday. And so, yeah, you can get all excited that we did close above a price target or a big round number, but we haven't broken away from it. We're still stuck to it. And currently in the pre-market, last time I checked, we were trading at $600.01 in the pre-market. So not going to get overly excited just yet, but we know where our next price targets are. Now, the equal weighted S&P 500 made a new high on Monday. It was up another 2 cents yesterday. So not a big move there. We're trying to get to $190.63 if the market wants to continue to move higher from here. Now, the NASDAQ had an interesting day. It did end the day on a buy signal, but it was also an inside day. So a day of indecision for the NASDAQ. It's being held back, of course, as the S&P 500 is by those Magnificent Seven stocks. And you can see when you take away those that the equal-weighted NASDAQ has done better than the NASDAQ recently. A small pullback there, a little profit taking in the next generation NASDAQ, but no major damage has been done. And then looking at the iShares for the Russell 2000, we pulled back into the open gap. Didn't fill it, but got pretty close to. We'll probably fill it this morning and then see where the market wants to go next. But you can see we've had a nice big pop in those mid-cap, small caps, and micro-cap stocks. Moving on to the world of currencies, the U.S. dollar index was up slightly yesterday. The euro was down slightly. And then, of course, there was more weakness in the Canadian dollar and the Mexican peso. For whatever reason, Trump wants to put tariffs on Canada and Mexico, and Of course, I don't think he knows what tariffs are, and I don't think he understands how integrated the countries are, but we'll see what happens next year. Now, moving on to the Canadian market, we had a small pullback in the TSX Composite yesterday, and that might have had something to do with Bombardier selling off. It's still on a buy signal, no change in trend there. The TSX 60 held up a little better with Brookfield moving up on the day, up over 3%, nearly 4% on the day. So that's a nice big up move. We're back on a buy signal. Now, when you look at risk reward, the low risk opportunities were back here. Bottom of the panic zones, pressure zone was forming. This is a new opportunity, but remember, a dollar gain up here is worth, about half as much as it was when this uptrend started. So the risk reward is getting lower up here. You're taking on more risk for less reward, and all the low risk opportunities are basically gone at the moment. So yeah, we can move higher from here. It's just taking on a bit more risk with less reward. Now, what else worked on the TSX yesterday? Well, gold stocks were up on the day. There's a Agnico Eagle. So we tagged the lower channel line on Monday and then came back sharply on Tuesday. Now, as long as the Canadian financial sector, the Canadian banking sector holds up, I think the Canadian market will continue to hold up. Now, here's an interesting ETF that I recently added. It's a lithium ETF, and as you can see, it's extremely thinly traded. And, when you see little specks like this, that probably means there was one trade in the day. So there's not a lot of volume in this particular ETF at the moment. Pros and the public intertwined. I did want to point out, though, that we're finding support in the daily flypaper channel. And when you see something like this, if you still want it, and I understand that there's a lot of interest in lithium, and that's why I added it. There's currently not a lot of interest in this particular ETF, but if you want to trade something like this and it looks creepy on the daily charts, then move to the weekly charts. Use a weekly chart to help filter out the lack of volume during the week, and you get a better idea of what's going on over the long term. And so you may not want to give up interest in this particular ETF, but you certainly don't want to be trading it on a daily basis. Let's wrap things up today, taking a look at the world of commodities and starting off with copper. Copper was lower yesterday. Copper miners were lower as well. No change there. The price of gold traded up yesterday. The GLD traded up yesterday. Both are trading higher this morning. Probably not enough to give us buy signals. The GDX is still on a buy signal. No change there. We still got junior gold miners on a sell signal, though, while the XGD is still on a buy signal, so no change in trend for the GDX or the XGD. Then we've got silver. Silver was up yesterday. The silver ETF was also up on the day. Silver miners were up slightly, but no change in trend for those. They're still on sell signals. So are the junior silver miners at the moment. Then looking at the world of energy, crude oil traded down to the lower channel line, so a close below 71.53 would give us a sell signal on Wednesday. We've got gasoline on a sell signal. That certainly helps going into the long weekend. Natural gas was up on the day, still trying to take out the high from a couple of days ago. Now, our next target is 1563. So this particular ETF was up just under 2% on the day. The 2X traded in Toronto was up 3.7%. We got very close to $3 the other day. Our next mathematical target is 313. I know some people took some money off the table just under $3 there, and that is certainly a big round number for natural gas. And as you can see to the left there, if you follow 313 back, you'll see an open gap, which could potentially act as a target. That's what I'm hoping for. And then looking in the U.S. at Boyle was up 3.85% yesterday. We're stuck at $50 at the moment. If we can take that out, you can see where the open gap is over here. And so far, that's holding us in check. If we can fill that gap, we may be able to get to 62.50. We'll just have to hope. And then looking at energy stocks, unfortunately, we've got a new sell signal for the iShares Energy ETF. As of Tuesday's close, we had Canadian Natural Resources roll over yesterday. We're back on a sell signal for Suncor, and we're back on a sell signal for Cenovus. So Canadian Natural Resources, Suncor, Cenovus, all rolling over. That's unfortunate. Then looking in the U.S. market, looking at the XLE, it traded down to the lower channel line yesterday, looking for a close below $94.81 on Wednesday to give us a sell signal. We do have BP back on a sell signal. Huge down day on Monday for ConocoPhillips. It did recover a little on Tuesday, so no change in trend there after the sell signal. And then last up this morning, ExxonMobil is back on a sell signal as of Tuesday's close. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. Stock index futures are firming up a bit, but of course, we've got all those economic numbers coming out in the next hour or two. Now, the commodity market looks very disheveled at the moment. There's nothing going on there. And if you had have asked me a year ago if the Canadian market could hit a new all-time high with commodities being so disheveled, I would have said absolutely not. But it is those financial stocks that are really holding the market up. And if they start to roll over, I would expect the whole Canadian market to fall apart. But that isn't happening at the moment. So as long as they stay in check, we should be good to go here. And if we can get commodities to come back, that would be even better. But that's just the way things are on Wednesday morning. If you're in the U.S. and you're traveling today, have a safe travel. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Your market will be closed tomorrow and back for half a day on Friday. We'll be doing a presentation tomorrow morning focusing on the Canadian market, and then we'll be back on Friday morning to take a look at the most actively traded stocks from both sides of the border. All the best, folks. And again, next time you'll hear my voice is on Thursday morning.